If you cook at home and you reheat your leftovers the way almost everyone does, there are 5 foods sitting in your fridge right now that you're probably handling in a way nobody ever warned you about. And I'm not going to dramatize this for you. There's a lot of fear out there about reheated food, and most of it is exaggerated. But there's a real core underneath the noise, because with these 5 specific foods, how you reheat them changes what your body has to deal with afterward, and a few of those changes feed directly into the things that genuinely raise cancer risk as we get older. So that's what I want to do today. Cut through the hype, show you what's actually true, what's overblown, and exactly what to do differently tonight when you open that refrigerator door. Let me start with something most people never get told about how this cancer works in the first place. Your pancreas is silent. It doesn't ache when something's going wrong. It doesn't swell up where you'd notice. It sits deep behind your stomach doing quiet, precise work. And it tends not to send a clear signal until things are already serious. That's a big part of why pancreatic cancer has one of the lowest survival rates of any cancer. Not because it's the most common, because it's usually caught late. So when it comes to your pancreas, the whole game is what you do quietly, over years, before there's ever a symptom. Now here's where I want to be honest with you, because this is where a lot of videos get it wrong. Reheating your dinner does not give you pancreatic cancer. Full stop. The things that genuinely raise your risk are well established. Smoking, carrying extra weight around the middle, type 2 diabetes, long-running inflammation in the body, and heavy drinking. But stay with me, because this is the part that matters. Several everyday kitchen habits feed directly into those exact pathways. The inflammation, the blood sugar strain, the load of damaged compounds your body has to clean up. And it's not just one organ, it's your digestion, your energy after meals, that low-grade inflamed feeling so many people over 60 just live with and assume is normal. Those things are connected, and once you see how, a few small changes start doing more than one job at once. Let's get into the 5 foods. Number 1, reheated fried food. Think about those crispy fries from last night, the fried chicken you wrapped in foil because throwing it out felt wasteful. And the next day, what do? You either microwave it, or worse, you heat a little oil in a pan to crisp it back up. That second moment, the oil, is where the real problem lives. Here's what's actually going on. The oils most people have on the shelf, sunflower, corn, soybean, are unstable under heat. Heat them once and they start to break down. Heat them again, or reuse the same oil, and that breakdown accelerates into something called oxidation. And oxidation produces a family of toxic compounds. The 2 you'll hear named are 4-hydroxynonenal and melandialdehyde. You don't need to remember those. You just need to know what they are. Aldehydes, genotoxic compounds, which means they can damage the DNA inside your cells. And this isn't internet folklore. A major review in Critical Reviews in Food Science and Nutrition went through the research on repeatedly heated cooking oils and found these oils generate aldehydes and polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons with documented genotoxic and tumor-promoting activity. So what does that mean for you practically? It means the issue isn't fried food once in a while. It's the reheating in oil, and especially the reusing of oil, that stacks the damage. Every reuse, the compound load goes up. And here's the part that ties back to your pancreas. These oxidized compounds drive inflammation, the chronic low-grade kind that runs in the background. And chronic inflammation is on the established risk list. It's the same fire, just burning somewhere you can't see it. You might even feel the surface version of this. That heavy, sluggish feeling after a greasy, reheated meal that you blame on eating too much. Sometimes it's not the amount. It's what the oil turned into. So the fix here is simple, and it costs you nothing. Never reheat fried food in oil, not fresh oil, not yesterday's oil. Use a dry oven at around 180 degrees or an air fryer. Dry heat brings the crisp back without creating a single new drop of oxidized fat. And if you fry from scratch, fry once, then throw that oil out. Frying oil is single use. A bottle of oil is cheap. Don't make it carry more than one job. Number 2, reheated leafy greens. This is the one I want to be most careful with because the internet badly oversells it, and I'd rather you trust me than scare you. Picture a pan of sautéed spinach you made Sunday night. You feel good about it. you're eating your greens. Monday, you take the leftovers out and microwave them. Now here's the real chemistry with the hype stripped out. Leafy greens, spinach, chard, arugula, beet greens, naturally contain nitrates. Fresh, those are harmless, and some are even beneficial. But once greens are cooked and then sit, bacteria gradually convert some of those nitrates into nitrites. And under certain conditions, nitrites can go on to form compounds called nitrosamines, which the International Agency for Research on Cancer lists as probable human carcinogens. So far, that sounds alarming. Here's the honest part. For healthy adults, the cancer link from reheated greens specifically is more precaution than proven fact. The strong, well-documented danger from this nitrate to nitrite shift is actually for infants, not for us. For grown adults, it's a why take the unnecessary load situation, not a this is giving you cancer situation. So I'm not going to tell you reheated spinach is poison. It isn't. What I'll tell you is there's an easy way to sidestep the question entirely. Eat your cooked greens cold. Cold spinach folded into a grain bowl, tossed in a salad, wrapped into a sandwich. Every nutrient is still right there, and there's no second round of heat to worry about. And if you want them warm, just cook what you're eating that meal. Don't batch a week's worth and reheat the same greens 4 times. 1 cooking, 1 serving. That's the whole rule. Number 3. Reheated rice. This one surprises people because rice looks like the most innocent food in your kitchen. No strong smell, no warning sign. And the risk here you genuinely cannot see, smell, or taste. Now I'll be straight with you up front. This isn't really a cancer story, it's a food poisoning story. But hear me out on why it still belongs in this conversation. There's a bacterium called Bacillus cereus. It lives in raw, dry rice, anywhere in the world. When you cook the rice, you kill the active bacteria. But you do not kill the spores. Spores are hardened survival structures, and normal cooking heat doesn't touch them. They sit dormant in your perfectly cooked rice, completely undetectable. Then the rice cools and sits on the counter. That cooling range, room temperature, is exactly where those spores wake up, multiply, and produce a toxin. And here's the detail that matters most. That toxin is heat stable. When you microwave the rice the next day, you might kill any live bacteria, but the toxin they already made survives the reheating intact. So this isn't about reheating creating something new. It's about the toxin being there before you reheat, and the reheating not being able to undo it. Why does that matter for the bigger picture? Because repeated bouts of gut upset, even mild ones you shrug off, keep your digestive tract in a state of low-grade inflammation. And your gut and your pancreas are closely linked, sharing blood supply and inflammatory signaling. A constantly irritated gut is not the calm internal environment you want as you age. It's not a cancer guarantee, but it's a load you don't need to carry. The fix is all about timing, and it's genuinely easy. Cool cooked rice fast. Within an hour of cooking, spread it out wide and shallow instead of leaving it piled deep so it cools quickly. Refrigerate it. Eat it within a day. Reheat it once until it's steaming hot all the way through, and once you've reheated a portion, finish it. Don't send it back to the fridge for round 3. These aren't complicated rules. Most people have just never been told them. Number 4, reheated chicken. Nearly every household eats this several times a week. And the danger here isn't really the chicken. It's one specific habit with one very common appliance. You roasted chicken last night. Today you put 2 pieces on a plate, microwave them for 2 minutes, touch the outside, feel that it's hot, and dig in. That outside touch check is exactly where the gap is. A microwave doesn't heat food evenly the way an oven does. It works by exciting the water molecules inside the food, and different parts of the same piece of chicken have different density, fat, and moisture. Some spots get blazing hot. Other spots, centimeters away, stay lukewarm. Those are called cold spots. You can't see them and you can't feel them from the outside. And lukewarm, moist, protein-rich pockets are exactly where bacteria like Salmonella and Campylobacter survive, or worse, multiply. Proper cooking the first time kills those, but recontamination after cooking is common, from hands, counters, utensils. And if reheating leaves cold spots, You've handed any surviving bacteria a warm incubator instead of finishing them off. Now, a real salmonella infection isn't a quiet afternoon. It's fever, cramping, the works, your whole immune system mobilized. And like the rice, even the milder repeated exposures keep your gut inflamed over time. Same principle. Not a cancer switch, a background load you'd rather not carry as you get older. So be honest with yourself for a second. When you reheat chicken, do you check that it's steaming hot in the thickest part? Or do you touch the outside and assume the inside matches? That assumption is the whole risk. The fix: use the oven when you can. Around 175 degrees, covered with foil, 15 to 20 minutes. The trapped moist heat reaches every part evenly. No cold spots. If you must microwave, cut the chicken into small, even pieces first. Use medium power, not maximum. Stop halfway and rearrange it. Then let it sit covered for 2 minutes so the heat evens out. Or skip the whole problem and eat it cold. Shred it into a salad. 0 reheating, 0 cold spots, 0 risk. Number 5. Reheated potatoes. I saved this one for last because it's the one with the most going on. 2 completely separate things happen when you reheat potatoes the wrong way, and this is where the real pancreatic connection lives. Picture the roasted potatoes from Sunday. Monday, you toss them back in a hot pan with a little oil to crisp them up. Here's the first thing. That golden crispy color you love? It comes from a process called the Maillard reaction, which kicks in when starchy foods hit high heat. And one of the things that reaction produces is a compound called acrylamide. The International Agency for Research on Cancer classifies acrylamide as a probable human carcinogen. And here's what makes reheated potatoes specifically worth a second thought. When a potato is cooked, then refrigerated, its surface dries out and the sugars concentrate. Apply high heat a second time, and the conditions for acrylamide formation are actually more favorable than they were the first time around. So a reheated, re-crisped potato can carry a higher acrylamide load than the original. Now the second thing, and this is the part that connects straight to your pancreas, honestly and directly. When you cook potatoes and then cool them fully in the fridge, some of the starch converts into what's called resistant starch. And resistant starch is genuinely good for you. It slows down how fast sugar hits your blood. It's gentler on your system. A cold cooked potato is, metabolically, almost a different food than a hot one. But when you blast that potato with high heat again, much of that resistant starch converts back to ordinary, fast-digesting starch. The gentle version is gone. What was a slow, steady release becomes a sharp blood sugar spike. And who handles that spike? Your pancreas. The cells that pump out insulin, pushed into a sudden, urgent release. Once in a while, no problem. But several times a week, for years, those cells get worn down. And that pattern, repeated blood sugar strain, is one of the roads toward type 2 diabetes. Here's why that's the real headline. Type 2 diabetes is one of the established risk factors for pancreatic cancer. Not a maybe, a documented one. So this isn't me inventing a scary mechanism. It's a real, traceable line. Reheated potatoes, blunted resistant starch, blood sugar strain, the diabetes pathway, and a genuine rise in pancreatic risk at the end of it. And if you refry that potato in oil, you've now stacked number 5 on top of number 1, maximum acrylamide and oxidized oil in a single dish. The fix: eat your cooked potatoes cold whenever you can. A cold potato salad with good olive oil, a splash of vinegar, and fresh herbs keeps all that resistant starch and skips the extra acrylamide. It sounds strange until you try it. If you want them warm, use the gentlest heat that just takes the chill off. Warm, not scorching. And never refry an already cooked potato. Number 6. Reheated fish and seafood. This one is mostly a food safety issue rather than a cancer one, but it's the kind of thing that can put you flat on your back for 2 days, so it earns its place. Think about the salmon or the shrimp from dinner last night. You saved half, and tonight you're going to warm it up. Here's what happens with certain fish: tuna, mackerel, mahi-mahi, sardines, the darker fleshed ones especially. When they sit too warm for too long, bacteria turn a natural compound in the flesh into something called histamine, and histamine is heat stable. That word matters. Heat stable means once it's formed, reheating does nothing to it. You can warm that fish until it's steaming, and the histamine is still right there, fully intact. So what does that mean for you? The danger isn't created by reheating. It's created by how the fish was stored before you reheat it. If it sat out on the counter or lingered too long in a fridge that wasn't cold enough, the histamine has already formed. Warming it just serves it to you. And a histamine reaction is no small thing. Flushing, headache, a racing heart, cramping. It looks and feels like an allergic reaction, even in people who aren't allergic to fish at all. The fix: get cooked fish into the fridge fast, within an hour. Eat the leftovers within a day, not 3. Reheat gently, once. And if the fish smells sharp, tastes peppery or metallic, or just seems off, don't reheat it. Throw it out. With seafood, when in doubt, it goes out. Number 7. Reheated mushrooms. Now this is one you've probably seen on every never reheat these foods list on the internet, and I want to set the record straight because the scary version is mostly wrong. You'll hear that reheated mushrooms turn toxic or carcinogenic. That's not accurate, and I'm not going to repeat it. Here's what's actually true. Mushrooms are high in protein, and they spoil faster than people think. Left at room temperature too long, that protein starts to break down, and bacteria multiply quickly. Reheat them after that, and you can end up with real digestive upset, bloating, cramping, an unhappy stomach for the evening. So the issue isn't cancer, it's that mushrooms punish sloppy storage more than most foods do. Why does that earn a spot here? Because for someone managing their health, a gut that's regularly irritated and inflamed is worth taking seriously. Not because one bad batch of mushrooms gives you a disease, but because that calm, steady internal environment we keep coming back to is exactly what you're protecting. The fix: refrigerate cooked mushrooms within an hour. Eat them within a day. Reheat them thoroughly, all the way to hot, just once. Done that way, they're perfectly fine. The rule isn't never reheat mushrooms. It's don't let them sit, and don't reheat tired ones. Number 8. Reheated toast and browned starches. Remember what we said about acrylamide back with the potatoes? It shows up again here, and it earns its own mention because it hides in foods you'd never suspect. Think about a slice of bread you toast, don't finish, and pop back in the toaster later to crisp up. Leftover baked goods you re-crisp in the oven. That tray of roasted root vegetables going back in for a second round. Acrylamide forms when starchy foods brown at high heat, and the darker the color, the more of it there is. The International Agency for Research on Cancer classifies acrylamide as a probable human carcinogen. So here's the reheating connection. Every time you rebrown an already cooked starch, you run that browning reaction again and push the acrylamide higher. A slice toasted twice to a deep brown carries more than one toasted once and lightly. What do you do with that? You don't have to fear toast. You just aim for golden, not brown. Lighter color, lower acrylamide. It really is that direct. The fix: toast and brown to a light gold, never dark. Try not to re-toast or re-crisp the same starchy food a second time. And the blackened, burnt bits, scrape them off or skip them. That's where the heaviest load sits. Number 9. Reheated charred or grilled red meat. We're at the 2 foods with the most serious cancer research behind them. This is the first. Picture the steak or the grilled ribs from the weekend. Monday, you throw them back into a screaming hot pan to bring back that seared crust. When red meat is cooked at high, direct heat, grilling, broiling, hard searing, 2 families of compounds form: heterocyclic amines and polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons. You don't need the names. You need to know that research reviewing diet and pancreatic cancer specifically points to these compounds formed in high-heat cooked meat as one of the ways diet feeds into the disease. And every time you blast that meat with high heat again to re-sear it, you form more of them. So, what's the takeaway? It's not that you can never eat a steak, it's that the charring and the re-searing are the part to watch, especially on the second go-round. The fix: reheat cooked red meat low and slow. A covered dish in a gentle oven, not a blazing pan. Skip re-searing leftovers to get the crust back. And those blackened, charred edges, trim them. That's where the heaviest concentration of these compounds lives. Number 10. Reheated processed and cured meats. And here's the one that, out of everything on this entire list, has the strongest and most direct link to pancreatic cancer. I saved it for last on purpose. Bacon, sausage, ham, hot dogs, deli slices, the leftovers you toss in a pan to warm up for breakfast or fold into tomorrow's lunch. These meats are preserved with compounds that, under high heat and inside your body, form nitrosamines, the same family of probable carcinogens we touched on with the greens. Except here, it isn't a precaution. It's a documented association. A large meta-analysis pooling many studies found that for every 50 grams of processed meat eaten per day, about 2 slices of deli meat or a couple of rashers of bacon, pancreatic cancer risk rose by roughly 8%, and the World Health Organization classifies processed meat as a definite cause of cancer in humans. Not probable, definite. Now connect that to reheating. Frying or hard high-heat reheating of cured meats drives nitrosamine formation up, so the bacon you crisp hard in the pan a second time isn't the same as the bacon you ate fresh. This is the one place on the whole list where the original idea, a reheated food tied to pancreatic cancer, is actually backed by strong evidence. It just isn't the food most of those videos point to. So what does that mean for you, practically? Processed meat is the food here to genuinely pull back on, not just reheat carefully, but eat less of, full stop. The fix. Treat processed and cured meats as an occasional food, not a daily one. When you do eat them, warm them gently, rather than frying them hard a second time. The lower and slower you heat them, the fewer of those compounds you're forming. So we've gone through all 10, and before you click away, I want to pull this together, because the real point isn't any single food. It's that the same few habits keep showing up. Reusing oil, batch cooking and reheating the same thing over and over, blasting everything on high. Those habits touch your digestion, your energy after meals, that low-grade inflamed feeling, and your blood sugar, all at once, which is exactly why fixing them does more than one thing for you. And I want to be honest about the stakes, the real way. This isn't about one scary diagnosis out of nowhere. It's about the quiet version. The person who was active their whole life, did their own yard work, carried their own groceries, got down on the floor with their grandkids, and slowly, over years, lost the energy and the steadiness to keep doing it. Not because of one event, because of 1,000 small days that added up. I think about that a lot, because the things on the established risk list, the inflammation, the blood sugar strain, the extra weight that comes with eating this way, those are the things you can actually move, quietly, starting tonight. And if you've been doing all of this for years, please hear me, it is not too late. Inflammation comes down, cells get replaced, your body has a real capacity to recover, and every better choice from here moves you in the right direction. So I'm not asking you to be afraid. Fear doesn't help anyone. I'm asking you to make one different choice the next time you open that fridge. Fried food, reheat it dry, never in oil. Greens, eat them cold, or cook just what you need. Rice, cool it fast, eat it within a day. Chicken, oven, not microwave, or eat it cold. Potatoes, cold when you can, gentle heat when you can't. Fish, chill it fast, eat it within a day, toss anything that smells off. Mushrooms, don't let them sit, and don't reheat tired ones. Toast and browned starches, golden, never dark. Grilled and charred meat, low and slow, and trim the burnt edges. Processed meat, eat less of it, and never crisp it hard a second time. Your pancreas has worked for you in complete silence every single day of your life, never once asking for anything back. This is a small way to give it something in return. If this was useful, share it with one person who reheats their leftovers without a second thought. That might be the most useful thing you do today. Take care of yourself. I'll see you in the next one.